bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing.
Donation.
Spoop?
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 Spoop.
Spoop?
Hello.
Spoop.
Welcome.
Big spoop.
Welcome all. Welcome all. It's here. We're here. We're here. It's here. It's time. Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday. It is Wednesday.
Jose, thank you for the
Donation.
sub.
Hell yeah. When did you
For-
make that donation soundbite, Michael?
Huh? Which one?
You know the one. Donation. That one.
Donation? Oh, that one. I made that on my stream. I made that a long time ago. It was like 2-3 years ago.
And I stole it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know how
we-
you got
it's-
it. Oh,
it's
I
better.
think I sent it through Discord one day. You took it from me.
Yeah, I was digging through my files and I found it.
Yeah, I think we have some high quality sounds, honestly. We don't have the best coinage name. We're close. Spoop Coin's pretty good. Social
Yeah,
credit
I think.
is probably the
Yeah,
best.
Chapo's got the best one with the social credit thing.
Yeah.
You just can't beat that.
All the good ones. Yeah. How do you top that exactly?
Hold on.
So it's been a minute since we've done a show.
We
Yeah,
missed.
we missed.
Last Sundays.
Tuesday. Sundays. Both Sundays.
Yeah, and then we had the layover where I was getting the house fumigated, so we did the kind of shortened episode, different place, and I think that and other things kind of factored into the last one not happening. Maybe just to state it, because I don't know if we haven't, like, I don't think we're ever going to push something out, like, unnecessarily, too. Like, we always say for sure, like, we're going to be here Sunday and Wednesday, and we do try to do that. But if, like, the content's not there, we're not going to push out and just sit here for, like, 2 hours or something talking about nothing.
Yeah.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah. Not that there wasn't it, because there actually was substantial issues that we're going to be covering today that happened by Sunday. But it's like, you know, you got to let those things gestate. And yeah, I don't think we were quite ready. So, but we're here now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's everyone week?
Day
Good.
or week?
It's okay.
Yeah, just week. I mean, it's been a while since we've been here. So.
Working.
Yeah, I feel you.
More working.
Apparently, we're getting our windows all done in this house. So, like, one morning,
Really?
I woke up to some guy climbing up a ladder into my window. Not into my window, but up to my window.
That I don't
he's
think he
just-
was fixing your yeah.
Let me
Kind of like looking through the window. No, he
he
pulled
was
he
going
came
like-
up. Hey, what's up, Pablo? No, he came up into
Pablo.
the window to measure it because we're getting our windows changed. We're like renovating, and then I was kind of like still in bed in the morning, and he's just peeping through my window. I was kind of tripping out. I didn't get an emergent. I didn't get like a text from my uncle saying like, "Oh, some guy's gonna come by and look through your window."
Just cranking it, and his dude just looking through your window.
Yeah.
It actually reminds me of something that happened the other day, like relating to your family not telling you like people are there, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like before we lived in this neighborhood, we lived across the street in like the Kelp apartments, and that's kind of where like I grew up as a little kid, and like we had neighbors that they had it was a single mom there, and she was friends with my mom, and she had two sons that are like my similar age, so we would hang out. But like, anyways, we hadn't seen them in forever. And I woke up the other day and go downstairs, and the mom's down there talking to my mom, and they're like chatting it up, all that. I'm like, oh hey, yeah. And the first thing she asked me, well, first thing she does is like go on a story about how one of those boys I was friends with. He's like, oh yeah, he's doing all great now. He has a girlfriend. Do you have a girlfriend? Like immediately, it was like, you fucking bitch. And she,
Like,
I honestly think she expected me to say no. And I tried to joke too. I was like, oh yeah, just the two right now. And then she's like, what? And I was like, yeah, I got a girlfriend.
that was her. She's the mom of that guy.
Of the two, they were our neighbors. Like when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And I hung out with their two sons, and she's like, "Oh yeah, my one son's like a hot rod mechanic." And
so she's like trying to like one up you for something.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. And that was my first interaction of the day. Like I walked down, no warning, and it's just like, "Oh, my son has a girlfriend. Does he have?
Is he still a loser?
Do you have a master's degree? I don't think so.
Yeah, she could have flexed that on me and be like, "Oh yeah, they have." Yeah, it was like, really, like this is how my day starts. It's okay. My girlfriend's hotter. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. Probably.
You gotta just don't say probably. You gotta just be like, yeah.
Most definitely. I mean, yeah.
Anyway, what do we got going?
Yeah, and anyone got any other stories, or do you guys want to jump in?
No, yeah. After you just go ahead and just talk your shit, flex on everybody. I guess we can go ahead and fucking start.
So I think let's keep on like this funny train before we get. There's more funny stuff too, but we'll get serious. Amidst coronavirus, and it's such a shame that there wasn't there might be like Zoom links to this, but I didn't know how to get to any of the Zoom links to CPAC, because there's always hilarious shit that happens there every year, because it's just filled with fucking insane people. And,
yeah, CPAC's the only cool part.
Yeah, it really is like the best conference out there. It's fucking great.
It's one of the best stand-up comedy gatherings of the year.
Yeah, the only one that's better is APAC, and that's just because it's limited to Zionists only. I prefer that one, but you'd think this year they would do like only online or something, but no. They have one. It's in Orlando, I believe, because there's we covered this too. Ted Cruz going to Cancun and flexing coming back and flexing those photos of him carrying water and shit, trying to restore his already destroyed image there. But he was here at CPAC, and I think he made a comment where he was like, it's so gross. He's like, "Oh, Orlando sure is nice, huh? Almost as nice as Cancun."
Oh yeah. I saw that shit.
Dude, so brutal. But yeah, so they have it here, and even the disgusting conservative commentators, media people, politicians, you see the disdain they even have for their own psycho ass base that goes to these things. With the clip we have here, I'm straight ripping it from just the Humanist Report because he has a compilation of clips, but this one was funny because it's just revealing of the whole vibe of CPAC this year. I think we can play it.
Well, as Dan mentioned, we are in a private facility, and we do want to be respectful of the ordinances that they have as their private property. So please, everyone, when you're in the ballroom, when you're seated, you should still be wearing a mask. So if everybody can go ahead, work on that. I know it's not the most fun.
You have the right. You have the right to set the own rules in your own house, and we're
Communism!
borrowing somebody else's house, so we need to comply with their rules. So thank you all for putting on your masks. I wear a mask when I'm in the halls, and we're going to comply with their rules.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good conference.
Now, I'm not sure if you heard it or not, but one person literally...
I feel bad for her.
It's literally just like a daycare. It's like having a bunch of kids in there. Please put on your mask.
She just asked them to do something, and like it's kind of like getting booed off stage in a way. It's like such a shitty feeling to have.
Well, because that's what you get when your whole fucking side is a culture war saying that masks are mind control, communism, brain disease, weakens your immune system, makes you a sheep, and then when you have to be like, hey, this private business says put on a mask. Yeah, then it all falls apart on them. They're like, wait, why are the guys on my side telling me to be sheep, communist, Castro? This is just like Muslims. First it's this and it's hijabs.
Maybe those private business owners are communists. You never know. Hosting CPAC.
It shows their disdain, though. Like you're saying, they manipulate these people on the culture war shit, but they really don't like any of these fucking, goons that go to their conferences and stuff. They just use them because it's their base that allows them to, pretend to be one of the two wings of, the corporate party.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get to be the racist flavor, so.
Which I mean, to be honest, is the more fun side.
The tastier flavor, yeah, for sure. You can even see the language like that they were using, like because they don't actually have like they're so warped that they have to tell them like, oh hey guys, this is private property, so or he's like, you can set the own rules in your house, like some bullet like
this isn't our house.
It's like you have their own rules in your house, but this is private.
Yeah, private property. Or like normal people would just be like, hey, can you just wear a fucking cloth over your mask so you don't kill everybody in here? You fuck. Like, it's so simple, dude.
Like, have these people never heard of like wearing a mask if you're sick?
Yeah, no. Freedom! That's
freedom!
Freedom!
Free as a bird.
Yeah, I'm free as a bird now. Yeah, that's what they're actually saying. Hey, play Freebird! Freebird!
Freebird!
Oh no, put on a mask. Freebird!
I'm free to spread disease like a bird.
Oh god, the bird flu? Yeah. CPAC's gross every year, but this one was just funny. Just a special disconnect between the audience and the people there. We don't have any of the cruise clips, but he had like a collection of ones too. The one I mentioned.
It was bad.
He had another one where he just gets to the mic and he goes, "Freedom! Freedom!" So yeah.
Doesn't he do that like every year or something?
Yeah, every day probably.
He wakes up, looks himself in the mirror, looks at his fucking wife. Freedom!
Baby, I'm about to bust. Freedom.
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 Wife is
Operation Desert Storm.
Wife is just disgusted by him. But he's just rich enough, so he's fucking accepted.
You can go to Cancun.
Well, there was that old story, if you remember. Allegedly, his wife almost killed herself jumping off a bridge.
Jesus. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, that was like Ted Cruz's wife.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Can I get the story on that?
Yeah.
Carlos, do you have?
I mean, I don't remember it exactly, but I mean, it's pretty much just shows how miserable they are.
Look it up.
I fucking hate my husband.
All time is when Trump went after his wife too and just called her ugly and shit. And then Cruz was like, "Yes, daddy."
But yeah, that's my favorite part. I like that too about the whole primary situation when the whole Tara Reid thing, and like Kamala Harris saying I believe Tara Reid and shit for a second, and then falls right in line.
Yeah. Well, maybe let's bring up our next story then, because that actually relates. Because someone that we've talked about previously, and someone that they were going to make the OMB, basically the media director for Biden, Neera Tanden, someone that was
Cancel
hard.
Queen.
Yeah, cancel Queen, just shitting on Bernie supporters online, being absolutely vehement little piece of shit snake, and ultimately, apparently that's what led to her now, as this says, she's no longer being considered for that position. So fuck her, thank God, that's good. Ultimately, it's not really a win because some other piece of shit will be filling that role, someone we probably know less about, and thus they can be more dubious in their actions. But nevertheless, given her story, it's so sweet to see her not get the position.
Definitely. And just how full progressive she was, how vehemently anti-Bernie she was.
Yeah, and
one of the ones that pushed that whole like Bernie bro fucking bullshit. Yeah, just
right.
like just.
And she wasn't alone though.
But
she was just like a centerpiece, I think.
Yeah, but just to I guess add more. She's just one of those shitty fucking centrists who, postures themselves as somebody who cares about people, but in reality, doesn't and will go as far as to actively work against the interests of the working class.
Right, which makes her perfect for the Biden administration, which is weird they wouldn't put her through. But relating to that, we can bring up the next piece because these all relate. And the reason I said it wasn't just her, it was a bunch of people crapping on Bernie supporters during that time, and now that she's even been, she's no longer being considered for that position. A lot of those people are resurfacing and shitting on Bernie people again, blaming them for why she didn't get this position rather than her disgusting comments online. These people like to tout the language of accountability, but the one time their person gets held accountable, it's a bad thing.
We need to hold people accountable. We need to make sure that they take full accountability for their accountable actions.
And then it's all solved, right?
Exactly. Once they say that they've been held accountable for their actions, you can forget about it. You don't actually go any farther than that because it's Twitter.
Dust off your shoulders.
We done our job. Shake off the hands. We canceled somebody on Twitter. That's that.
One of the people that, and I didn't know this guy, but as you can see, this piece we have pulled up here is older. And his name's Robert Caruso. He's one of the people I saw today.
I was about to say, his name was all over Twitter today.
Yeah, he was shitting on people for saying he was one of those people saying that all these Bernie supporters are the reason Neera Tanden didn't get her position and that we're all sexist, etc. And he went as so far as to the Brunigs, who are two like lefty journalists, Matt and Elizabeth. They do good work. He straight up threatened them because they do a bunch of pieces exposing Neera Tanden and other fucking faux progressives, but he straight up tweeted I'm gonna firebomb your guys' house and kill your children and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And this article here, we don't have to go through the whole thing because it's pretty long, but I just wanted to put it here so that you get the background on it, and when we come back from our break, it will segment it into our next piece. But that guy, Robert Caruso, he's been touted on CNN, on MSNBC, on basically every major news outlet, and they cite him as a national security expert. I think even MSNBC is straight up when they put you on and they have your little title there, it straight up says State Department official or something. Never has he ever held one of those positions ever. He's basically some guy that completely made up his resume with some file pusher for the military. And of course, all of his appearances in media are pro-war takes pushing for more intervention in Syria, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, etc. And this guy also has a history of like, violent attacks, beating up girlfriends, going after people, now going after these journalists. So it just goes to show these kind of people and how many of them are just floating about. And when we come back, we're going to talk about Biden's strike in Syria and how it killed 22 people. And this relates because it's guys like this, thousands of them that make that up. This guy has no real job. His job is to pretend to be some fucking security expert. He goes on every major outlet, talks about how we should kill more brown people and spend more money on that, and then goes on Twitter and threatens like lefty journalists and defends Neera Tanden. So I think
I just went on his
shows
Twitter.
everything.
He just says some really vile shit.
Oh yeah, and then he like deletes it, and that was the tweet Eian saw because I quoted it too. He's like, "Well, I deleted it so I can be held accountable, and now I've been held accountable." And it's like that to me. That shows the vapidness of accountability. That it doesn't mean anything because, that he doesn't actually give a fuck that he threatens someone's kids or that he's a piece of shit that is a pro-war stooge.
You
It's
can
just
look at
the veneer of accountability.
You look at the Snapchat. I'm not telling you to pull it up on stream, but there's that.
Well, like that's the whole thing. He does that to get the fucking to get the annoying libs off his back, and then he just goes right back to pushing war on us and getting those same libs that would have the same libs that would have attacked him without the whole hold me accountable tweet. Now they're like, oh okay, yeah, let's go back to bombing people.
Yes, and can you go to the last paragraph in that piece, Carlos? Because I think that is the overarching point. Is the reason this guy's like getting canceled and has to have accountability and pretend that he cares is because he's been caught being a piece of shit, right?
Yeah.
My point is there
for the host, bro. We appreciate
it. Hell yeah. Thank you for the host, brother.
Appreciate
One of the best producers in Oxnard.
Jeez, how long is this thing?
Oh yeah, it's I recommend it. It's a great piece because it just tears through this guy. But the last paragraph, like I'm saying, it sets up that, hey, like if this guy didn't do any of this, there are plenty of people like him that aren't like abusive, go online and tell people they're gonna kill their kids and shit. But then they do the same stuff he does, where they lie about, or even don't lie. Maybe they are like a legit national security person, and their daily job is to call for the murder of brown people abroad. I'll read the final paragraph because he puts it perfectly. He says, ultimately, Caruso's problem is one of degree, not substance. If he had saved the death threats for Iranians rather than his friends, if he channeled just a little bit more of his pathology into his work rather than his personal life, who knows how far he could have gone. Now, obviously, he's being sarcastic there, but or tongue-in-cheek. But yeah, it's true. If he wasn't an outright piece of shit and he was calling for the death of Iranians rather, stable job, baby, no accountability needed.
Because he's manufacturing the idea that they're our enemy.
Yeah, he's useful. He doesn't need to be held accountable. He's doing something they like. And yeah, when we come back, we'll have more to talk about that Syria bombing because I think that's a big issue.
Yeah. Go into a break. All right, yeah, we'll be right back, everybody. Be back after this.
Thank you for the host.
Bullshit. That's some motherfucking bullshit. We get it right. We come and crash on the scene. If you all know what I mean, I take a page of the zine. I feel alright. I think it's all by design. I'm at the party reclined. I see your text, no reply. We get it right. We come and crash on the scene. If you all know what I mean, I take a page of the zine. I feel alright. I think it's all by design. I'm at the party reclined. I see your text, no reply. We get it right.
Who's this nappy-headed nigga with the glasses on?
He's packing bombs and he claims to be a vagabond. The saddest songs cut the deepest cause they make us see the truth in all this lonely humans. So be careful who you're speaking to. It's we the few deep thinkers in this shallow land. See the real problems, not that one that's blamed on Taliban. It's hellish, man. You spill the blood, comb oil, but we need to fix the problems that lay on our own soil. And we need real heroes, not from TVs or movies. Maybe that guy you judge smoking on a doobie. Me and my pal Scooby, we studied the history. And we're all headed for doom, and it's not a mystery. With a fit to be destroyed and rebuilt on this planet now. How many times is it gonna take? God damn it, I've had it. God said these humans never learn, and they're never gonna earn immortality, the burn. We get it right. We come and crash on the scene. If you all know what I mean, I take a page of the scene. I feel alright. I think it's all by design. I'm at the party reclined. I see your text, no reply. We get it right. We come and crash on the scene. If you all know what I mean, I take a page of the scene. I feel alright. I think it's all by design. I'm at the party reclined. I see your text, no reply. We get it right. But this life ain't living on forever. For as long as humans are here, it's never getting better. It's about just living and creating what you do, and hoping what you do lasts for longer than you. Now take this song as a clue. You need to get on your game tight. If you say you're gonna be something that's stored on that same night, your brain might forget to check with the rest of your body. Forget the bitches and the Maseratis, my nigga. Hey yo, focus on that real shit. Be thankful that you never had to kill kids or kill clips. Not rap about some flashy fantasy so you can listen. Gonna rap about my soul and the human condition I'm living in, swimming in, often barely afloat. The most hilarious joke is hearing Drake is the GOAT. Now come on, bitch, please, he's not a rapper, he's a pop star. You looking for that real hip hop? It's here in Oxnard. We get it right. We come and crash on the scene. If you all know what I mean, I take a page of the zine. I feel alright. I think it's all by design. I'm at the party reclined. I see your text, no reply. We get it right. We come and crash on the scene. If you all know what I mean, I take a page of the scene. I feel alright. I think it's all by design. I'm at the party reclined. I see your text, no reply. We get it right.
Yeah, man, that was alright, bro. I kind of see what you're saying, man.
We get it right.
Saying, but like, can you get the fuck up out of my party now, man? You fucking fucking up the whole vibe.
We get it right.
Like, you see, you're having a fucking grand old time, and you decide to waltz your ass in here, fucking bring everybody ass
right.
down, bro. Man, you need to get the fuck on, man. Take your business ass back to
We get it right.
where the fuck you came from, St. Elsewhere, but fuck. I don't know, he said some shit about Oxnard, bro. Get the fuck out of here, man. Seriously. That's Anderson Paak's album, man. Fuck out of here. You didn't even fucking wipe your feet when you came. Look at all the fucking mud you dragged in my fucking house, man. My mama's coming home tomorrow. How the fuck am I gonna explain this shit? Man. Fucking man. Yo, get this fucking. Yo, somebody get this fucking.
Donation.
Yo, Terrence, get your fucking ass out here. Get this fucking nigga out of my fucking house, man. Fucking up my mama's rug and shit.
We get it right.
Donation.
Donation.
I can totally replicate that sound right now.
Do it.
I don't want to blow everybody's ears though.
Just give a trigger warning.
Yeah, I forgot that. I think I mentioned it once before on this show, but that clip is so loud that I have the volume set to it at 1%.
Yeah, I think on my stream, whenever it played at max volume. I never.
Oh fuck, dude.
Never lowered it. Donation. Yeah, I just turn up the gain on my mic and I just go donation like super loud.
God.
Can you do it one time? Volume warning?
Yeah, I don't know if it'll sound. I could try.
Volume warning, everybody. If you don't want to hear something really loud.
I want it all. I want it all. Fuck, bro. I don't even gotta donate now. I'll just make Michael say it again.
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.
Yeah. Now that the audio setup has been destroyed,
Did it sound that loud? Like, did it sound?
It sounded pretty loud, yeah.
That's
Or
awesome.
distorted for sure.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be distorted.
Yeah, oh yeah. It wouldn't be funny if it wasn't.
That's good stuff. It's my.
I know. I'm just
I had to
gonna
move
make
the
you do
pop
it.
filter out of the way too.
I saw
The
that.
extra pop.
Are you ready? Are you ready to spook more?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
get spooping.
let's do it.
Don't say that. That sounds racist.
That does kind of.
That sounds like a hate crime. Time to spoop.
Let's get spooping.
Spooping? Oh my god.
That's what I said the first time.
Dude, I thought you said. Oh god. I thought you said.
What did I?
spoopy.
What'd you?
I thought you said let's get spoopy.
Let's get
Oh
spoopy.
no! I said let's get
Yeah.
spooping. That's what I said. And then I was gonna say let's make that our handle, but all of you guys didn't like that sound, so I was like,
I know spoop has like many uses, but I don't think it has verb uses. Does it? Can you be? I know you can be spooped up, but you can't spoop.
No, I think you can be spoop. No.
Isn't it just like fuck?
Can't you just say let's spoop? And
It's
that's
a,
it. There
it's
you
a
go.
It's got as many
relatively-
uses as fuck at least.
it's a
Or I'm
relatively
gonna
say more.
term. Yeah, I definitely say more. Because
Yeah.
spoop
No, it
can
can-
even be used in place of fuck.
Or it can even be used in more mild.
Or you can say fucking spook.
No, like
Yeah,
like
you
if, let's say let's say I'm gonna go on a run, and I'll just be like, all right, I'm gonna go spoop.
Right,
It's
that'd be
interchangeable.
normal. But if you told your dad, "I'm gonna go fuck," but you meant you're gonna go run, like that wouldn't seem normal.
Well, but
Yeah,
you would
that's
always
true.
interchange
That
it. You would always interchange it with spoop. Spoop is we talked about this in the first episode. Spoop is very interchangeable. It means
Has your dad
anything
ever
and
heard you say
everything.
spoop, Michael?
Probably. I don't think he can. I don't know.
Really?
I was like, what the fuck is that kid even saying?
I mean, I don't go around saying spoop all the time.
I say it at work sometimes.
I definitely say it unconsciously.
Yep.
I say meme a lot, but people know what meme means. now.
Yeah. I can say
Like-
meme
Like
confidently.
5 years ago, though, like people were still saying meme and shit. Like it's mem.
Our
Meme.
Discord
Yeah,
server
memes,
was
memes.
ahead
Yeah,
of the curve.
meme.
Meme.
I named that server before meme really broke out into the mainstream.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, the
You
meme
know
server.
us ahead of that curve shit.
we've been on this. We what?
We
We
were
got on
ahead
this.
of spoop.
We
We
got
were
on
ahead of
Discord like
meme.
months after, like a couple like 4 or 5 months after Discord launched. We got on it
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because I want to say it came
So
out in
we're a
like
bunch of
like it at
March.
nerds.
I want to say
I
it
did
came
not
out in
know
like
that.
March or something, and we started our server in like November
Yeah, we have a pin somewhere.
or May or something.
Oh, in our server, it's on the welcome.
We're definitely the oldest one I've seen other than
We
New Hairs.
we
server.
made our server Monday, November 16th, 2015.
15. Yeah.
Yep.
Crazy.
That was the day in here that we made our first.
And I never remember the anniversary.
Yep. Yeah. Me neither.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we don't do anniversary.
It just feels like some ambiguous time.
Maybe in 10, we'll do a 10-year anniversary if it's still alive.
What
When I
day?
get married on Discord. We'll...
Oh,
Yeah, your fucking wedding better be live stream here on Discord.
God, in meme. Oh,
oh,
God.
November 16th,
Yep.
2015.
Yeah, that's Ian should remember that one at least.
That's
Birth
3
month.
days. 3 days
Yeah.
after my brother's birthday, and then not
And even
Like
the
a
I put
week?
the specific time
8
as well.
8 days before. After
You know how to read military time. I have no idea what the fuck that says.
where
24 hours. Just say 24
1931.
hours.
7:31.
7:31. Okay.
You just subtract 12,
I
or
just-
or
too
you
much-
subtract
too much math.
or,
Just give me normal time.
or you
I agree,
subtract.
Michael Reyes.
No. You guys are both wrong idiots. You live in
I agree,
America.
Michael
You've been in
Reyes.
America for too long.
Just
Everywhere
give me
else
normal
uses
time.
24
Why do I
I
want
don't
to
live
think about
anywhere else.
time?
We
You
live
live in the
here.
shittiest country, dude. You
Exactly,
fucking
so we might as
idiot.
well use the shittiest measurement.
Yeah, you're a fucking dipshit. So
Fuck
dumb.
it. If I go to the gas station and they tell me there's fucking liters going into my car, I will fucking destroy that place.
24 hour is supreme.
Someone's
so
like, "Hey,
dumb.
bro, how many kilometers till you get to my house?" I'm hanging
What are
up
you
the phone.
saying?
What are you saying?
What does that even
Yeah, you know what? Don't
mean?
come to my house.
Yeah, you're not invited if you'd ask me how many kilometers it is.
Or what do they say? Like when they tell you to read the time, they're like, oh, it's or what time is it? And they'll say
Oh god,
like
half past. I
half
fucking
past or
don't even get
fast
it.
5
quarter-
past 11 or 5 till 11. I don't know some shit.
I'll do military time before that. That's unnecessary.
That's just
Like
old people
what?
talk, though.
That's true.
I've heard people.
Old
say
people,
this.
I excuse it, but yeah, I've heard young people use it. It's like you did not grow up doing that. Like you saw or heard, you made an attempt to do that, and you're a piece of shit for that.
What if I was raised by old people?
Well, okay, then that's different. That's true. That's true. I think the
I
people
pretty
that
much
I've
skipped
seen
a whole
definitely
parent
weren't though.
generation.
Yeah, because how old is your
Like me
how
and
old's your mom?
Jose.
Jose's crazy.
My
'cause
my
Jose's
parents
dad's
were
like
almost.
70
I'll say they're
something.
almost 40 when they have. I know, you know, there are a lot of people. You know, yeah, like Jose's dad. Fucking, how old was he when Jose was born? I can't even remember.
40.
He's in his mid to late
Five?
70s now, I think.
I
He's
have no
watching,
idea.
right?
Yeah, Jose, you
Yeah.
here?
How old's your
he's
dad now?
He's on his
Can you
TV. He's watching
confirm
us
or
on his
deny?
TV. Hello.
I'm gonna guess he's 75.
Jedi Kush Master.
That might even be too young.
What's up, Leo?
I want
Leo
to
always
say,
gets pissed
I
off
want to
because
say,
we don't
isn't it
acknowledge
early
him.
70s? I want to say he's early 70s.
It could be early because late 70s is pretty fucking old, dude. That's like my grandpa's age.
Hi, Michael. Says
He
Jedi.
he lowercased it too.
TY for
You
the
don't think I'm
attention.
important, huh?
No, he doesn't even think you're a proper noun. He
Yeah.
just
How you gonna hate capitalism but still use capital letters?
Alright,
Dweeb.
there you go.
No, don't capitalize that, M. Fuck that. Lowercase gang.
What?
I used to only use capital letters, especially in Minecraft when you type on signs.
I only write in cap. Like my lowercase handwriting is way too sloppy. I have to use uppercase.
Yeah, and it's just like it's not.
That's-
all the letters are more messy looking compared to capital letters.
It's primitive writing. Do you write
I
like
would-
this?
Yeah, people. I remember I want Black's name, but I remember someone in high school that wrote like that. I was like, this guy for real.
Yeah, I
No
feel like
wonder.
Ian would write like this,
Carlos?
all in caps.
No.
Just write in cursive so you have a good excuse that it looks like shit.
Yeah, isn't that some bullshit?
Did they make
Where
you
you
do
can
that
get
in
fucking
school?
beat-
Alec Jam, what's up?
What's up, Alex Jam? I took cursive classes. What
Like
grade?
in elementary, right?
Yeah, when
was
I
in,
lived
like,
in
I
third
took
I
mine
lived-
in
or
first
something, I
grade. That's
think.
when I
Yeah.
started doing cursive.
It was
This
when I lived in
first grade.
Texas.
Okay, so like pretty
Very,
early.
very, very early, before middle school. I want to say like fourth grade or something, maybe. That's a guess.
Carl seemed right, like third grade.
Third,
fourth
like
grade.
third, probably.
When you guys started writing cursive, and maybe chat can chime in as well. Did all of your teachers tell you that when you get older,
Oh yeah,
you
oh, yeah.
have to write in cursive?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's gonna be the
In
way.
all
yeah.
of your essays, and like you just have to write in cursive. So they're like, "Oh, we'll start learning now, so that when you're older in college or whatever, or high school, you'll be
Fucking
writing
bullshit.
cursive."
Isn't that how they get you to try to fucking remember everything?
Or that dumb shit.
It's like,
the
you're
Cornell
definitely going to
notes.
need this when you're older at this
They said-
time.
They said
Remember?
Cornell notes was gonna be the future.
Right.
Like everybody, yeah, you had like classes were only accepting notes, and they were worth points, and that you had to do them Cornell. I hated that shit.
Really, Leo? You never learned
Carlos was
cursive?
right. They
Or
do that
they
with
never
everything,
taught
though.
you?
Yeah,
They
that's
taught-
true.
I'm pretty sure it was like not required, but they definitely taught everybody. Because I didn't learn.
Yeah.
Like I made a purposeful effort to like not learn. I remember.
I mean,
'cause
I think
was
it's
like,
good to
I
at
can't-
least know your name in cursive.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
least.
yeah.
Nope, I
At
don't.
least try.
I don't remember. Like I remember a couple of letters, but it's just stupid. Like why? We
I
learned.
don't
can
even think
do it.
it's like. Can you even remember a couple? Like, is there even written rules to cursive? I feel like it's just you fucking scribbling extra unnecessary shit to your letters.
Well, there's like.
Well, 'cause the
there's,
whole
like,
point is that you
cursive
don't
has,
lift
like,
your pen
shapes.
up.
Yeah,
with
it's
your
all
writing
connected.
device.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But,
yeah,
like,
obviously for like
sometimes it's
text,
unnecessary, though.
like
Sometimes
text
I
and stuff, it's
accidentally-
useless.
Writing cursive.
Well, yeah. Like sometimes I'll just connect my letters. That's just because I write sloppy.
Why was
I-
it-
yeah,
Well, no,
yeah.
like I
That's what
properly,
That's what I'm saying. It's a
I
good
properly
excuse.
will write
You can just
cursive
fucking
sometimes.
bleed that shit together.
I've done it for like a letter, like a nice letter. I think the only purpose, really.
Yeah, exactly, Jose. Yeah, they said that you're gonna use it in college, and college is like they only accept Cornell notes or whatever. And yeah, it's most useless piece of shit.
Cornell. I don't think I've ever done Cornell.
You know what else we need to get rid of? We need to get rid of
Oh, yeah, I
ML.
have.
We need to get rid of MLA format.
I've
Why?
turned my tune on MLA. I used to hate it as well. it's
Wait,
still
why do you want
pretty
to get rid
dumb.
of it?
Not get rid of. You shouldn't get rid of them because there's no point. But
I don't think there should
you
be
should use it
one.
less.
There
Yeah.
shouldn't be one way to do something. I should just
So
do it
that's like
however the fuck I
literally the
want.
only way I write my essays is in MLA format.
I like the teachers. They're like, hey, here's like the 4 different formats I'll take, and it's fine if all those, and I'll even send you a way to like the proper format for all those. That's perfect. MLA, APA, and Chicago should all be acceptable.
I don't know what any of those are except for MLA.
Chicago is super simple, and it's literally all you do is you use footnotes. MLA, I don't like because you have to do the citation like in the text usually, and I don't think that's necessary. I think it makes it look really sloppy. It makes it
like
look
whatever will give me the most words in one page.
That's what it does. That's why I think it's stupid. It's just fluff. Where with Chicago, it's a number.
Like I want like
and
super
it's fluff.
spaced out so that I don't have to write as much to get a page done.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just fluff.
Yeah.
It's just unnecessary. Whereas like the notes, you see a number, and if I want to check, then I just look at the bottom of the page. I don't have to read the footnote.
Yeah, because it's just referencing, but yeah, without fucking but just filling the shit up.
Yeah,
because I mean,
really
like you want the information like as it like the person wants to present it to you. You shouldn't have to like say all the fucking information in the thing.
Right. You only look if you want to, or if it's necessary. Because MLA works really great for research papers, but if like no one's gonna write a book in that format, for instance, and cite stuff, because you'd have a fucking million citations in your text, and it would be a pain in the ass to read, rather than have all your footnotes and then just have your whole bibliography at the end so that you could go to the footnotes.
Yeah, I definitely think they should accept all 4. Like
yes, or like I don't even know why we relegate it to just a couple. Like,
yeah, it should like as long as if you can get your fucking point across.
Yeah, if you follow the main format of like opening, closing, thesis, body, that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I've always been a bit debated on this. I was kind of bouncing between like having some set format or just having no format, just like come up with your own shit. Because a lot of the times people already fuck up even if you give them like an outline. Like they'll mess something up. So why not just say try to outline just do the best you can.
Just make
especially with
the
like
paper make sense.
Shit.
That's it.
I mean, like, fucking papers are just papers and shit. I mean, like, as long as the information's there. But, I mean, like, I do get the other hand, though, where, like, if you don't give people anything, it's like, some people fuck it up so bad that it's like...
True.
But, I mean, it's, I'd still, for some reason, side more with that, I think, at the end of the day. Because it doesn't make it feel like you have a stick up your ass while you're writing shit.
Yeah, exactly. Or that's your focus is like making sure you get the format rather than the substance, which is, I think, common for people. Well, shit. I guess that was our intermediary talk about random shit section.
That was our fluff. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, that was our.
I don't know how we got to fucking talking about college papers.
Jose said he's never had to write in Chicago until
I don't even.
I've only seen English teachers be sticklers for MLA stuff.
This is the whole.
I think they have to.
See, that's why we call this a political podcast, because everything is politics.
Yeah, see, that's what's fucking.
It's just politics basically just translated as problems, more or less.
That's the issue. It's like
and humans will always have problems.
Like I can hit all the major points of your assignment, but the fact that it's not in a certain format, I'm gonna get 0 credit for it. That's what's fucking dumb.
That's dumb, yeah.
That's repression of the proletariat.
I think some, not all professors, but if they were like not as strict, they'll tell you like, hey, can you rewrite it in MLA? Not like, but like obviously you probably typed it up, so you can just copy and paste it and then put it in MLA format.
Yeah, but like
if that's what they want.
If that's the point, like I get just wanting to teach you the format, but yeah, like if you've read it and you get everything,
the barrier to whether or not it's understood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just fucking use your eyes. You're an English teacher. Read. It's your job. You got a degree of reading to read. Read.
Right. I guess that's their main in college, especially though. That's why they try to get you to format, because their idea is to make people cite stuff, because most people don't do that, and they're unfamiliar with that. That's why they should do Chicago, though, because it actually makes way more sense, and it makes people cite their shit way more often, rather than having to go through some laborious task. of like having it in the text
Of like,
as
yeah,
well.
like proper phrasing and all that.
Yeah, it's like just have a footnote exist. It doesn't have to be proper. I just need it to be there so that I know where your source is. That's all. I don't care how it looks. Hell yeah. So we've discovered that formatting in papers is actually a tool by the capitalist class to repress the working class.
Yep, it is actually a
Yes.
tool and a hand pushing and continuing white supremacy in America.
We should be
and,
free to write our
emboldening the
essays how we
fascist
see
movement
fit.
in the globe.
That was the true meaning of SpongeBob writing his essay.
I mean, I'd say as long as you have coherent formatting, that's all that matters.
Fuck this shit. The capitalist class doesn't care what I write. They just want to format what I write, bro. SpongeBob! Why SpongeBob?
What I learned in boarding school is
dark episode, bro.
All of them have like.
SpongeBob was a dark show.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what they're doing now.
Good couple of first seasons.
The first 3. Don't
And
watch
then it got
anything
too
after
popular,
that.
and then the Democrats got to it. Cancel culture got to SpongeBob.
Just like the
They found the
Simpsons.
episode where SpongeBob says the N-word, and they're like, no more.
The one guy that like reacts to the SpongeBob YouTube poops.
Big Pump.
Big Pump, what is
Spoop.
up, Spoop?
Hell yeah. Big Pump 800. Get it right, boys.
I have someone very special coming on stage.
Oh,
Y'all, if
yeah.
you haven't heard his music, it's very good music.
Oh,
Big Pump. Big
that was
Pimp.
Little pimp. Yeah. Big Pump 800.
We have Big Pimp 700. Beautiful music. Come to the stage.
Did we cover that on the show? The little
I
pimp?
think we did cover that show on the show.
That was. I think that was for the election. We got
Yeah.
that out.
Oh yeah, we put it up on stream. We put the
Or
Yeah,
a fucking
that was a long
11-hour stream.
Yeah, that's why it's hard
It's
to
up on our
remember if we
YouTube
did.
if you want to.
I was at work
Torture
for the whole
yourself,
fucking.
but
I
it's
came
got
back
timestamps.
after work, and you guys are still streaming.
So it's
Yeah.
bearable because it's timestamped, so you could at least go to the segments you want to see.
The link that I just put in chat will give you all our socials and whatever.
That's
Not
an
that
alcoholic coffee pot.
Not that I'm like gonna go back and watch that 11 hours, but I imagine honestly everything we say in that 11 hours probably still rings fucking true.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, if you want, go watch that, and like I'm sure like you can get a good sense of like I don't want to toot our own horn, but like how accurate maybe we are to this point because we had a pretty clear view of what this administration was going to be before it even happened.
Yeah, and I was saying it pre-election. I was saying it during election, and I
We
say
were all saying it.
post-election. It's just we're just gonna live through the Obama years.
Yeah,
Like, of course, we were all alive during the Obama years, but you get what I mean. We're adults now. We pay we pay fucking taxes. We're living through the Obama years,
right.
and
Right,
what
the
then?
Obama years with like changed material conditions, like it's even worse now.
Just like the Obama years, that led to Trump. And if Trump doesn't run again, we're gonna have somebody Trump adjacent who's gonna run in his place. And unless we can coalesce around a real working class candidate that wants to actually, change the lives of the working class, the majority in this country, the overwhelming majority in this country. We're all workers, and until somebody truly captures that spark that was, that died out during the Bernie Sanders movement, it's very possible that the whole lesser two evils just doesn't work again, and we get either Trump or we get somebody a lot worse than Trump, somebody who's really running on that QAnon America First.
Because he'll at least tell people what they really want to hear.
Exactly. Yes, it's interesting.
Or maybe we don't even get that, and I think let's use this as our segue into our piece here.
Into the next topic.
Maybe like you're saying, this is going to give leeway for an even more disgusting right to open up because, like you're saying, they're willing to say anything, really willing to tell the truth to people, even though they're still lying to us. But even if that isn't the dark reality we get, look at the one we get now. And we said this before we went to the break on the show. That's Biden administration has bombed Syria. What they claimed were Iranian-backed militias, which, is no justification to fucking blow up people because, as we know and as we've covered before, those Iranian-backed militias have been the main thing fighting ISIS, the people who we claim we're most against in the Middle East, radical Islamic terrorism, right? We bomb the people that are fighting them. If you check out Empire Files, we've covered them too. Abby Martin, I can't remember the name, but they even say the town it was some small town in Syria they bombed. They killed at least 22 people. And, this is not just like a one country thing too. This is a bombing in Syria, near Iraq, on Iranian-backed militias, and it's to clearly gain, more geopolitical pressure on Iran to further regime change, which we've also covered. So I have this popular resistance piece, and I'm just going to cover like a screenshot we have. The interviewer's name is Mohammed Elmazi, and it says the name of the article is Biden's plan to carve up Iraq into 3 statelets has proven disastrous. And I think this article is good because, like Eian was saying, we lived, the Obama administration happened already, and we're going to live through it again. And this is such a clear example because Biden was part of that administration as well. He was part of that sickness that gave us Trump. And I think in understanding that, we understand what he's doing now is a clear extension of that. Nothing new, nothing that should be unexpected. And the interviewee here, Salman Ramadani, says he's an Iraqi-born lecturer in sociology. He writes on Middle East current affairs. He's actually a political exiled when Saddam Hussein was the leader of Iraq, and he wasn't liked by Saddam Hussein, but he also still didn't call for the illegal invasion of Iraq that the U.S. did. So this guy principled, and he's been super right about the issues for years. The screenshot I have, though, he talks specifically about the foreign policy of the Biden administration. Here's the question. He says, to what extent do you expect the foreign policy of the Biden administration to differ from that of Trump's as far as Iraq is concerned? Ramadani says, U.S. policies in Iraq after the occupation, especially after most of their forces left Iraq, were anchored on applying the so-called Biden plan, meaning dividing Iraq into ethnic, religious lines of Kurd, Sunni, Shia, 3 statelets, and keeping tensions going between the various communities, and encouraging even violent ethnic cleansing and so on. In the brackets here, he said, we should judge Biden by whether he's going to abandon that anchor of U.S. policy in Iraq, which he had proposed in 2006 when he was a U.S. senator. That's why it's called the so-called Biden plan. If he's going to abandon it, then Iraq and the United States could have more peaceful relations. If not, it means he is going to continue to keep U.S. bases in Iraq, interfere in Iraq, and make Iraq a base to wage war on Iran. This essentially means that because Iraq is so strategic for its oil resources and its position in the region, in terms of its influence in the Arab world or in the Middle East in general, the U.S. policy is dictated by a strategic interest in the area, and U.S. alliance with Israel will also be an important factor, something we've also talked about on the show. In terms of determining Biden's policies towards Iraq, so it is a situation which is even above the person who rules in the White House. So yeah, he's clear there. Like in the Obama administration and before, in the Bush administration, Biden was one of these people that has created this situation in the Middle East, our forever wars there, where we are occupying them indefinitely, stealing their natural resources, and controlling and bombing their countries to shit so that we can pressure and control other countries like Iran and even other stuff too. Like we've also covered sanctions they do all the time, all the other different kinds of warfare that don't get covered. So I thought this was just really good because it showed like, he's been through multiple different presidency stages, and it shows that it doesn't really matter who's at the in the White House, especially when it's the guy that set all this shit up in the first place. But yeah, it doesn't matter because our policy is extraction. That is the capitalist motive. Imperialist conquest, endless profit, endless extraction, and that won't stop until, as Ian always says, we organize as working class people.
Absolutely. And like I guess to add to that specifically, not only will things never change until you organize the working class, and as Big Pump said in chat about when the old people die off, things will change, and like to an extent that is true, but and like an even bigger step to that, like in addition to that, like with obviously a more representative democracy and more people that have our interests in hand, only so much can get done from the halls of Congress and
Right.
the White House. That the real change comes when we as workers organize and truly and I guess reform the government, reform the system itself, because that's what it says in the fucking Constitution. When the shit's not working, change it. Literally says to do that. It's the instructions. They're right there.
It takes a change in the collective consciousness.
Yeah.
Because obviously we can vote for someone else and someone different, but if we don't change the way we think and understand these issues, then it don't matter who you put in there.
And like you have the whole Republican grift where they always say they're for the Constitution. And if that was even a shred true, they would be advocating to change the system that has ruined this country, and that's obviously free market capitalism, or any whatever you want to call it, capitalism. It all comes back to that. And
It's just another form of monarchy, where the kings rule at the top.
But it's just
create hell for the masses.
Until he moves to a system that extends democracy to the places like the workforce, but just our day-to-day lives, and when we have more control over what happens with our country and the globe itself, that's when we move towards actual freedom.
Yeah, that should be where the onus is.
All the creature comforts in the world, all the cheap iPhone and fast car isn't it's only gonna make you so happy. Yeah, all the hot extra hot chip with limon. It's only gonna make you so happy. But going to a job, you may not like what you do at that job, but you're guaranteed a good job that's gonna pay you well and take care of you and your family. You're gonna have a home to go to, and not only when you're not at your home, you're gonna have a community to be around and experience living life instead of just day-to-day struggles like not being able to pay your rent, and or even if you do pay it, you scrape by. You're working 2 to 3 jobs just to barely get by, and that's
paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, that's the reality for so many people.
It was 70% of workers before the pandemic, and now it's. I mean, I'm sure not only is that number higher, it's more complicated than that. People.
Yeah, and like I said, you can give everybody in the world the fucking newest iPhone and a fast electric car. They're still gonna go and be and they're still gonna have nothing. You can't just keep throwing band-aids on this issue.
Yeah, well, I think to bring it to the Lil Pimp's comment.
Little Pimp.
Yeah, some rich old white guys for sure, or white people in general, rich old white people dying for sure is gonna help, but that is not the onus of what's gonna change things. That's everything Ian said. Things have to change at the base level of society.
Here, I'll connect this to another thing, just because I kind of thought about it. Think about people like Epstein, who use their wealth and power to exploit people for some of the most heinous crimes that we consider. And they're allowed to do that because of the wealth and power that they create, and that their will and desire can be carried out through.
Isn't that some crazy shit, though? How they just fucking killed Epstein and then just pretended it didn't happen?
Everyone connected to them just got off with it.
Yeah, isn't that just insanity? Like, like we watched it happen.
I think for a lot of non-political people, that was a pretty breaking. You could say that about 100 different moments, but that was definitely one where like people that did not discuss politics are all like, "Oh yeah, that dude did not fucking kill himself."
No, yeah,
Duh."
that's just nuts. Like maximum security facility, cameras just so happened to stop working after no issues forever and ever. Just
Yeah.
have it stop working at his cell at the exact moment, and he somehow kills himself in that short window of
Tied to
time.
the most powerful people in the world.
Yeah, like they just like we watched somebody get clapped. I mean, obviously he's a piece of shit guy and he deserves to be fucking whatever. But it's just like we witnessed that happen, and
Yeah, you don't go back from that moment. Society doesn't rewind that moment.
no, yeah, we crossed that barrier of just public executions.
Yeah.
Or like I guess we've come back because we swept it under the rug. We stopped doing public executions in the town square, but like that was
Well, yeah, we only assassinate other people's democratically elected presidents. We usually don't assassinate pedophiles tied to our presidents.
Yeah, we usually go bomb, generals that helped us fight ISIS, or
Right, yeah. We go kill steel workers.
elected socialist leaders.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
Yeah, we chop up African labor leaders and then sell their teeth to goons.
To fucking Belgian investors.
Yeah.
Fuck Belgium. Everybody in Belgium watching, fuck you.
Fuck you, Leopold.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Fucking piece of shit.
So, you guys want to watch a video so we can do our last couple?
Yeah, let's.
Yep.
So to relate to and I think, I can't really quite remember, but I think Kyle, Secular Talk, the video we're going to watch, I think he talks about Syria as well in here because, this was about the same time this happened. At the same time that's happening, Biden's bombing Syria, plenty of money to just drop bombs on people. They claim that we cannot get a raise in the minimum wage despite having, all the political power now, the Democrats. They claim they can't do it because the Senate parliamentarian blocked some bureaucratic bullshit that even by bureaucratic bullshit standards they could go through. But disregarding that, of course, we know literally anything could get done politically if they just actually had they could pass the minimum wage $15 today if they wanted to.
Pass Medicare for all today.
Yeah. Because we know if they leverage the pressure of actual people, because actual people want $15 an hour, then they could get that issue instantly. But that's not what they want. So they're going to act like every bureaucratic hurdle is a fucking mountain that they can't surpass.
Yeah, and what was I going to say? Something. What was the thing that just fucking passed and it got 0 Republican votes? And two Democrats voted against it. Fucking
The things that have been voted recently was like the George Floyd Policing Act, which we're not covering that, but like that is completely devoid of substance.
Yeah,
too.
it
has this shit where it's like federally banned chokehold. They're banned in most states anyway already, including the state of New York where Eric Garner was killed by a chokehold. So
we could talk about that shit all fucking day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's play it because I think he breaks it down perfect. So, and we can full screen it too.
So the Senate parliamentarian, somebody who nobody ever thought about or knew who they were until like last week, they decided, it's a she in this case, she decided, no, $15 minimum wage can't be done through reconciliation. Why? Because I say so. I know Republicans do anything they want through reconciliation, but I'm going to say the Democrats can't do something that has like 60 to 80% approval rating through reconciliation. Can't do it. So, of course, the reaction from the usual suspects is, oh, the process, we care so much about the process, we can't do it because the Senate parliamentarian, this unelected bureaucrat, we're going to let override the overwhelming majority of the American people. And so Biden released a statement, I'm so saddened by the decision from the parliamentarian. It's terrible. It's so sad. Now, what they don't tell you is this. That's an advisory opinion. They could override it if they want to override it. That's it. It's an advisory opinion. They can say, oh, interesting take. I disagree. And they can move forward with it. They're not doing that. The fact that they're not doing that says what? They don't really want to do the $15 minimum wage. I'm sorry, that's the truth. They don't really want to do it. So, now the $15 minimum wage is on the chopping block. By the way, you should fight like hell every step of the way. Every Democrat who really believes in this should make those who oppose pay a political price, and you should be vicious. You should be no holds barred. You should be clear about who the enemy is in this situation. And right now it is Biden and Kamala Harris, without a doubt. Throw in Joe Manchin, throw in a few others. But you should go to town. You should go to town and treat them like they're the Republicans, because they are. They are on this. They are. Okay, so with this on the chopping block, we get this news. Senate Democrats are racing to finalize a new tax provision, this is from CBS, that would penalize large companies that pay low wages. The move comes after Senate parliamentarian Elizabeth McDonough ruled Thursday night that a $15 minimum wage hike cannot be included in the Senate COVID relief package, which is currently being pushed through the chamber through a process known as budget reconciliation. The plan being drafted by aides to Senate Finance Committee Chair Ron Wyden of Oregon, in close consultation with Senate Budget Chair Bernie Sanders of Vermont, would impose a 5% payroll tax penalty on very large companies that do not pay workers a certain amount. That amount is still unclear. Wyden favors $15 an hour. Wyden favors $15 an hour, but is currently seeking feedback from fellow Democrats on that figure and on exactly which companies would face the penalties. Everyone in the caucus is envisioning very large companies. Think Walmart, Amazon, a Senate Democratic aide told CBS News. So, the new idea is this. This gives you, some of the details here. But the new idea is, what if we found a way to penalize big companies that didn't pay $15 an hour as a minimum wage? And they have ways that they can punish that, whether it's through withholding subsidies or getting rid of tax breaks or whatever it might be. And they even go on to say that for the smaller...
Keep in mind, I can't think of another example, but this idea specifically was, even though I think it's really just a bureaucratic adjustment, they could just give everyone a $15 minimum wage right now. But this approach was popularized by Bernie, who did the it was for Amazon and Walmart, I think, where they had to pay the for the food stamps of their workers that were on food stamps, or raise, give them a living wage, and it forced them to. Now we've talked about that too. Like, obviously, I don't think Amazon and Walmart actually gave the workers a true living wage, and their conditions are horrible. But for that tactic that, maybe they're co-opting, you might be able to thank the actual left for using that to pressure corporations. So yeah, I think he broke it down fine. Like, they could easily get this thing through, and it just proves that they don't want to. The Democrats are not, representing on behalf of the working class. And yeah, that's pretty much it. They have all the money for bombs, but not to pay people a living wage.
Yeah, and I also wanted to. I found what I was talking about. So it was the House, and how we had Biden had to dumb down the whole COVID bill because wanted to cross the aisle or whatever. They finally dumbed it down. They did all this. They changed from 2,000 to 1,400. Blah 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 blah. Cut all kinds of shit. Got 0 Republican votes, and 2 Democrats even voted against it still. So it's they never at any point ever had to dumb down the bill. They did that to lie.
So they got exactly the result they wanted.
Exactly. Yeah, but it's just
because if they worked on behalf of working class people, and it was like the FDR approach, right? The inside out approach. We have outside working class power, and inside the Democrats were supposed to represent you. They would leverage. They'd be like, hey, we don't have, we don't have these votes from Republicans, but we know this is a popular issue in these states. Let's push so that these people are either going to help pass this issue, or when it comes time for them to, be reelected or up for office, they're fucking out because they're not for this issue. Yeah, and the Democrats know this works because that's what they used to get Ossoff and Warnock elected in those key states in Georgia.
Yep.
Because they every day came out. I'm sure you can find clips everywhere of them every day coming out. we're going to give you all $2,000 checks. We're going to pass the $15 minimum wage. We're going to give people Medicare for all. They came out and said that day after day after day. And what did that build? That built outside popular support, and that's how they got that pressure to win. But now that they're in, they don't give a shit about you guys.
Which is only to make it fucking harder for people, for more people running on the Democrat ticket, whether they're establishment Democrats or actual progressives.
Right, because everyone there too is for the people that did get Ossoff and Warnock in for the, they're like, hey, I voted them in because I want $2,000. Now they're not getting that. What does that say to a voter? How does that sit? One of the problems we discuss all the time is not seeing. The 2016 election was a huge moment, an unveiling moment, right? And one of the big ways to really see it, a great lens to see it through is not just pure racial hatred is what got Trump to win. It's looking at those two-time Obama voters that flipped for Trump in those very poor, Midwest key states. And I think in understanding that, it's the same thing here. These disaffected voters that vote for Ossoff in Georgia, what's going to happen to them in 4 years? Most likely they won't even vote, because that's what most people don't do. And why the fuck would you vote when the one reason you did vote was to get $2,000 because you're starving or something, and now you don't fucking have that?
Exactly.
So what's to say in 4 years they're not some guy, Trump or worse, comes to them and says, I'm going to give you, hey, fuck Ossoff. I heard he came here and offered you guys $2,000 and he didn't give it to you. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm going to give you $3,000. Even if he's not going to do that, at least, now he has that legitimacy because
leverage. The
Democrats just fucking shot themselves in the face on purpose.
Just hold up to your word.
That's what we're all taught, right? But that's not their job, right? Their job is to lie to say something out of one side of their mouth so that they get the votes they need to stay in power and have these positions, but at the other side, not give people the necessary resources they need. That's what it comes down to.
Well, think about how the election cycle works. First, if you're a corporate candidate, you go and you get your corporate funding. You get as much of it as you can. And then once you've acquired your funding, then you have to go to work telling the masses what they want to hear. And sometimes they can't even do that. But I mean, in this case, in the Senate race, they understood how close it was, so they actually had to tell people what they wanted to get votes. Because I mean, once you get your corporate funding, you have your money to run the campaign. So now everything you do and say is just, give me votes. It's not indicative of what you're actually gonna fight for once you're elected.
Yeah, I mean, perfectly said. They know, and that's why it's so much more insidious. They know when to do these things and when to just give up on working people.
And it's usually crazy. In the language too, that they always use the weasel words.
Yeah.
Even though it's almost like they're learning from the fascist playbook as well. You gotta know when and how to lie, but it's like they won't even go the full distance and just outright lie. It's like they'll weasel. They'll use the weasel words to make it seem like they're in favor of the right position. But any time that it actually comes down to it, they're nowhere to be found.
Yeah, I think that's where a huge disdain comes from rural working class people to the Democratic Party, because they see that weaseliness, right? And I think that really turns people off, because in normal society, that is one of the worst qualities to have, to be someone that is weaselly and says two different things. Yeah, they're the convenient liar, and then the Republicans are just the big.
Why do you
lie,
think
right?
Christy Smith lost? She was she was horrible.
Yeah,
one of the worst candidates you could possibly choose.
Yeah, with a slew of others. I think with that though, let's move to our last piece.
Yeah. Yes. So this I got because I follow Tribune on Twitter, so And I'm always up like 3 or 4 in the morning when it's like a normal hours. It's normal hours in the UK, so I'll always see their shit pop up on my timeline. I thought this was really interesting. And I saw this last night because I was up until I think like 5 in the morning. And so yeah, it was just like I just happened to see it. So as the title reads, 25 days of the British gas strike, and obviously, this is our show, so like we always we really try to incorporate things like strikes happening. And then yeah, getting into it. A striking British gas engineer writes for Tribune about the fight against the fire and rehire, how the company has tried to squeeze its workers on the picket line, and why solidarity was the best form of defense. That should be spelled with an S. Fuck the United Kingdom. That is not a C. You don't put a C there. It's an S. 2 weeks ago, British Gas did the very thing they said they would never do throughout this current dispute. They approached our union, the GMB, willing to re-enter negotiations. They made this offer on the basis that we temporarily suspend our strike action for the weekend ahead, forecast to be the coldest in 10 years. The GMB put it to a vote. If yes won out, they would listen to what the company had to say. Before a single vote was cast through it, though, an email from the area manager was leaked proclaiming that the strike had been called off for the entire weekend. They were looking apparently for overtime to cover their projected busy period. In the end, workers chose to lift 1 day of the strike to hear the company out. If they acted in good faith, the union would lift the remaining 3 days. So we returned to work while meetings were held under the auspices of ACAS. Brought in to try to mediate between the company and the union. Talks continued, and the 4 days of the strike action were called off. Mixed emotions were in the air that week. There was relief that the strike had appeared to be succeeding, and the company had been forced around the table. Contrary to what the media might tell you, no worker wants to go out on strike. It's a tough time for us and our families. Any hope that there might be progress that would allow us to return without our terms and conditions being destroyed is greeted with enthusiasm. But there was also a lot of anxiety. We returned to work initially, unsure about whether or not the strike would be recommencing. Sorry, I can't read. The GMB made clear that if the company wasted our time during the talks, they would simply add another 4 strike days to the calendar to make up for it. Our position all along has been that if the threat of fire and rehire was removed, the strike would be called off. Though the talks progressed, the nuclear option remained. The biggest change the company wants to force through is to take our average working week from 37 hours to 40 hours without any extra pay. In the original offer, the workers stated that their intention to sign the new contract by Christmas were given a one-time off payment of £2,000, a sum which wouldn't cover 9 months of extra hours, let alone the rest of your career. It is effectively a bung. Whatever the fuck a bung is. The United Kingdom slang is so fucking stupid, dude. Holy, what is a bung?
B-U-N-G?
B-U-N-G. A stopper for closing a hole in a container.
That's such a British term. Like, why not just say like a stopper that closes a container?
Fucking so dumb, dude. What the fuck?
See, that's only because British people have
we
containers
call
in their
it-
house. They have,
And this is essentially just a band-aid or like a cork, like a plug. Like
A cork, yeah, we call it.
yeah.
You're not fixing the issue, which is the barrel. You're just fucking putting a cork in it. That's so dumb. Anyways, many engineers signed the intention, feeling that they were hedging their bets as they hadn't technically signed the new contract. They would still be allowed to strike and would have something of a cushion to soften the blow of the industrial action. The bung was paid on the proviso of signing the contract by the 5th of February. But contrary to the company's expectations, many of those who stated their intention to sign the new contract by Christmas became emboldened by the solidarity of the strike action and chose to run down the deadline without signing. As a consequence, those engineers were hit badly in their February pay. On top of the days lost through strike action, the company deducted £2,000 from their wages. Typically, a month's payroll in British Gas is paid in the middle of the month. That includes overtime accrued from the first few days. But in February, the company announced that industrial action taken up to the 8th would be deducted from the month's pay instead of March's pay packet. This is putting the company in a curious position of deducting strike pay for those taking action on the 8th of February, but not paying overtime for those who chose to work that day, providing emergency cover. Incredibly, some engineers even went into negative pay. Many of us felt this was a new low, an attempt to hit the morale of engineers who had already suffered 8 months of sleepless nights over the threat of fire and rehire. The bitterness felt by workers who had given years of their life to this company can't be overestimated. After more than a week of negotiations, we were finally briefed on what the company was proposing. Unfortunately, it amounts to the same deal as before, with a bit of window dressing. In the service and repair department, British Gas will say they will now pay an additional €2,540 or pounds next year to make up for the extra hours. But from that point on, we are on our own. The only way we can make up in this loss in wages by 2023 is to earn it through a mechanism called CTAP, an untested and poorly defined, even by the company's admission, bonus scheme. It isn't even ready to be implemented by the time our new contracts begin on the 1st of April. What CTAP is, but continuing on, British Gas were willing to state that they recognize fire and rehire has had a detrimental impact on the mental health of its workforce, and made the promise that it will never be used again. But this is an empty gesture while it remains an active threat in the current dispute. Our union has taken a neutral stance on the new proposal. The decision was taken because British Gas claimed that they were cajoled by them into voting against the initial deal. Without pressure from imaginary union bully boys, management apparently can't see why 86% of us could conclude that is a bad deal. Under the threat of dismissal is a bad deal. The revised offer is currently going to a vote. The importance of the dispute goes way beyond our workforce in British Gas. If a profit-making multinational corporation could pull off fire and rehire and downgrade its workforce's conditions under the guise of pandemic hardship, there's no stopping other companies from following suit. Given the economic uncertainty today, the thought of corporations being allowed to ride roughshod over workers' rights should be a concern to us all. For now, our strike continues. Friday to Monday, every week in March. Your support is much appreciated. So yeah, 100% solidarity to all of the workers and everybody who is on strike currently. We wish nothing but the best.
Yeah. I like the part
English
where he
grammar.
said, yeah, roughshod, cajoled. I didn't know what those two are, but I didn't know what bung is.
Roughshod?
Yeah, roughshod I know, cajoled.
How do you know what roughshod is, you fucking weirdo?
Tribune Mag, they British shit.
Having shoes with nail heads projecting to prevent slipping.
I mean, it's more just an expression of like, yeah, just. I mean, it's kind of in the word, like running over them, running through them.
I see.
No safeguard really. Cajoled is like, yeah, like harassed / convinced.
Yeah, I got that one from the context.
Yeah.
Roughshod. What is that?
I was gonna say I like the roughshod.
Roughshod, is that what it is?
Yeah. I like the part where he was like, hey, striking isn't like, it's not an easy thing. Like,
yeah,
this is it's an inconvenience. Like, it's us fighting. Of course, it's us fighting for like things we need, and that's why we're doing it. But like, it's if we could choose, we don't. No one wants to fucking strike. People would rather just go to their job every day and just provide for their families.
Another reason to democratize the workplace. You know, you don't have this stupid struggle.
Yeah, exactly.
Where the people who need to do work can't even do work because they can't get properly compensated for it.
Right. Yeah, and that's how we see all these bungles of, and it puts to bed the idea that capitalism is like the most efficient system too, because an efficient system wouldn't allow this kind of thing to happen.
Absolutely.
An efficient system would, find meaningful living for all workers, because that's going to improve your fucking output. Like,
yeah.
Maybe not for profit's end, which is what they want, but towards a better society for sure.
We have to stop letting capitalism cajole us, and we must roughshod.
we mustn't let them roughshod over us.
Disgusting.
Put a cork in it.
Put a what's the word? Bung.
Bung
Put
on
a,
a bung. That one's dirty. It just sounds like
yeah.
asshole or something.
Put a bung in it. Ugh. Yeah, definitely. We should just delete the United Kingdom and give.
Not the workers though. Solidarity with them.
Yeah. Give Northern Ireland back to Ireland.
If people, because I know, especially with strikes, like we covered a lot of French strikes, English strikes, big, strikes in Latin America. For people that like feel the need to relate it to home, maybe we just talked about this recently too. In Bessemer, Alabama, the Amazon workers are trying to unionize. They're doing it through mail-in vote because there's a pandemic. And we've talked about, Ian had a whole segment, I think 2 shows ago, that was just describing the tactics Amazon uses against these workers to prevent their organization.
I mean, we've talked about stuff like months and months ago in the show.
Oh, yeah. Like them straight up hiring like old NatSec, CIA, NSA people to spy on their workers. The Pinkerton company, infamous spy company that broke up labor strikes and stuff in the early, 1900s. And they hired them to spy on their workers.
To bring it even closer to home, we have the iron workers that were on strike recently in Oxnard because the Amazon fulfillment center wanted to hire out of city workers just to save money and not hire our union workers.
Yep.
So yeah.
Right. Which
I'm a spy.
Michael could be a spy.
Michael could
not a very good one.
I'm studying Ian.
Michael's a honeypot.
Ew.
He's so sexy.
I'll
tell him anything. A honeypot? It's like, okay, so basically, say like you have like a special type of like girl that you like. Say you like redheads with freckles that wear glasses.
How'd you know? No.
They're good, and somebody wants to spy on you. They're gonna hire a girl who's like a redhead with freckles that wears glasses to sweeten up to you.
Oh,
you could do that with the dude too.
Like they do that in the movies.
Yeah, like you ever seen the fucking the interview with the fucking where they go to North Korea with Seth Rogen and
yeah, I seen the movie.
Yeah, like the hot ass CIA lady.
Well, usually how they even more insidious. You guys can look this up on Twitter. Look up. I think it's called Spy Cops. They're UK based too, and their whole thing is they expose. I think there's a whole court proceeding like involving this. Is yes, cops spying, infiltrating labor movements in the UK, and there's all kinds of like crazy stories. I think the guy's name's like Tom Fowler. Tom Fowler. He's like the main guy that breaks down that work, but there's like an example.
Is an American-based guitarist.
No. You gotta look up Spy Cops. Because like the thing they found is like some of the cops would have full-on relationships with people and stuff for like years, and then disappear on them completely, or like all kinds of stuff, which has caused not only have they disabled these labor activists like movements, but they've also like messed up these people's lives too. Like some people were dead ass in love with some of these people, and then like they turned out to be a fucking spy. So yeah, that's usually what that stuff is used for.
So like the
that's
secret
a
police.
Follow. Yeah, literally and that's not like to home stuff too. They do that here as well. A segment we axed for this show was the Harry Dunn case, the teenager in the UK who was riding on his motorcycle and he was killed by a driver driving the wrong way who fled the country. And it turns out the reason she was allowed to flee the country and didn't have any charges pressed on her and is completely fine is because she's a fucking spy for the US. So where's the accountability there?
You didn't see it. She deleted the tweet and then.
Oh yeah. And
then everybody forgot about it.
Yeah, now the kid's alive. So it works, right?
Accountability. It's the end all be all. There's no other further action needed, and you're definitely using it on the right people.
with the, I guess like one more thought before I'm done. Like with the Amazon facility here, too. Another story we covered was the Pushan Brown story, the lady who was testing people even though she wasn't a doctor for Amazon.
Yep.
And she died.
Yep.
There's new revelations in that story too, where it turns out she multiple times contacted HR and told them about not only the unsafe conditions, but also like, yeah, just all numerous stories of like people vomiting in there, people coming in super sick that shouldn't be there and stuff. And now that's for Amazon's negligence has resulted in her death and now her daughter having no mother and relying on the support of random people. Fuck Amazon. Hope that building burns down. I didn't do it though. I only did it in a video game.
In a video game. Imagine how I see you in the fucking news for burning down some shit.
Or it burns down and they just arrest me anyway. It could happen.
I'll turn you in if they give me money.
Hell yeah. If they give you enough money, how long would they probably put me away for a while though.
But it's Oxnard. It's not a big city, and it just got.
It doesn't matter though. That thing's huge.
Well,
like if I burnt down the Camarillo one, I'm going to jail for 10 years at least.
I know scale-wise it's not the same thing, but I remember old stories my uncle would tell me of like when him and his friend were younger, and they'd be down at the beach, and they could see like all the like new houses that were like being built in there, and they would go down there and like mess up the like the construction like outlining and stuff just to fuck with them. Just because we don't want this fucking shit here. Like this is a fucking beach.
I don't think you get more than 5.
I don't know, man.
You're a white dude.
What?
Maybe me, but I think they could find background on me to just make it worse and just build a whole
5
case.
years?
If we deleted this VOD,
5 days.
I think you don't get anything more than 5 years.
If we delete this VOD, yeah, maybe 5.
If we delete this, if we never upload this podcast episode.
I don't know, man. Property damage, they definitely. God, I wish I could remember that. We always shout out like Borneman shit too much, but like the videos he would do was some of the best part of that class, and one of them was just covering like eco terrorists.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that was such a great video.
And how much? Yes.
Those guys got fucked for the rest of their life, dude. Like,
no,
that's it for you.
I absolutely
burned down a building with no one in it. Like,
the timber companies.
Yeah, that's it. Like. Timber companies, some people are letting out like animals that are being experimented on, and they're getting, some of them are getting 10+ years in jail. Or Assange, that dude did nothing wrong. That dude's probably in jail for the rest of his life.
Told the truth.
Yeah, well, I guess in that capacity, he did everything wrong, right?
He said the wrong truth. He said the truth that you're not supposed to know about.
Yeah. Well, does anyone have like any? That's all of our pieces for today. So if anyone,
no. That's one of the things that's supposed to be an what do they call it? An unknown that you're not even supposed to know that they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like we know they're doing it, we just don't know exactly how.
An unseen unknown.
So in that sense, it's like an unknown known, where like we know they're doing it, we just don't know specifically. But they don't want you to even think about it, and that's the problem he really committed, is that he did both. He proved, hey, they're doing this, and here's exactly what they're doing. So he broke the double.
Yeah, and he's paying the price for sure. Well, I think, boys, on that note, do we want to wrap up? This is number 40, right?
Number 40. That's why
I mentioned that earlier, but we were in the middle of something.
That's why I named it 40 Ounce to Freedom.
Hell yeah. So yeah, 10 more, and we're 50, dude. That's nuts.
Yeah.
I guess we'll get there when we get there.
We'll get there when we get there. And yeah, like we said at the beginning of the show, it's quality over quantity. If we don't feel like we're going to have a good one, we're not going to do one. When we feel like we're going to have a great one, we're going to do one.
What if we land the 50th episode
on 420?
The day we started our first episode?
We'd skip a
We
fucking
have
lot.
to skip like the whole year.
What if
When
we?
did
Oh,
we
I mean,
start?
we could just do specials from here on out and forced it, but no.
Well, I think we should
We
do
can do
something special for the
special
1 year anniversary. Yeah. And who knows what number we'll be at by then? We might. I don't think we'll be at 100, but we might be at 75.
Yeah,
So, well, yeah, we'll see.
that's nuts to think about.
It's nuts to think we're at
50, 40.
Chapo Trap House just did their 500th episode, so
I think Tumptown's still in like the 216s, 220
yeah,
somewhere.
they're not too bad. What's Joe Rogan's podcast? They're like in the big thousands, right? 2,000.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Well, that dude's
we
on
put out
crack.
our-
Didn't he do like fucking multiple a day sometimes or something?
Yeah, and he's been doing that for so long too.
He does that like normally. Like he'll wake up at like super early in the morning, do one, do like a break, do one, and then sometimes he'll even do like a third one.
Right.
And
He's been
these
doing
are
that for like 7 years.
these are hours long, fucking episodes. Yeah, it's nuts.
You can see how he filled that space because it's so guest dependent. Like
Yeah, and plus
it really
it's
molds to whatever the guest is.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
I've never.
Well, I think when he has
listened to Joe
good
Rogan
guests
podcast.
on there, it's a good show
Oh yeah.
because it's geared to whatever that guest thinks generally. Actually, he gains for the time he had Barry Weiss on when he completely shit on her. He gains all my respect just for that.
Yeah.
So
Loses it
when
with Gavin
she's
McBride.
like, Assad is a toady. What is a toady? And she goes,
It's just a shame that apparently he doesn't realize the fraud of a lot of these like right wing commentators.
Yeah.
And just how much
of course.
like think about Limbaugh. Like he openly said that like this is for money.
Yeah.
And think about it. I know we didn't show it, but at CPAC was it Ted Cruz? I almost wanted to play that clip because it's just he literally like talks about like the death of Rush Limbaugh and he names off all these like new conservative commentators like Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder. We have senators citing Steven Crowder.
So I was reading this Daily Wire. Daily Wire is Ben Shapiro, good guy, Ben Shapiro.
And we had that clip just breaking down how much of a fraud Crowder actually is.
Oh, dude,
that was brutal.
Yeah, we played a Crowder clip here. This fucking
never again. Well, not unless he does something. I guess.
I fucking yeah.
Whereas like it doesn't even. It's so bad. It almost doesn't even feel like it's what these people really think.
Yeah.
It's like they're just saying shit to get money and
sell
shit.
Well, yeah, in Limbaugh's case, he literally said that's what he was doing, right?
And he proved it through his actions, lying about hurricanes and shit.
Yeah, well, he was so much more successful too, I think, because he had that radio voice. I think most conservative commentators at the time were fucking dweebs, honestly. So people did not listen to them. He was the first guy that was like, "I'm just a radio guy that instead of being, having girls sit on a Sibian on my fucking talk show, like, I'm just gonna hate black people instead." So made a great career, and
he unfortunately ruined a lot of people who never realized he was a fraud.
Oh yeah.
He sold them bullshit and totally fucked their political ideology.
The brain poison he sold people is just endless suffering has occurred because of that.
Modern day.
Like even if you we kind of said this before, but even if you don't agree with us, like what we're saying is what we think.
Yeah, exactly. We're not gonna give some illusion of some bias that we don't have or something.
Except for me, I'm the podcast grifter. Yeah, whatever if somebody pays me to
everything I say is right.
Yeah, if somebody pays me to say something, I'll say it. Everybody else is principled though, except for me.
That's almost a Biden quote. What was his like? I'll be a prostitute. You give me money, I'll prostitute.
Yeah. We gotta go to the big businesses and we gotta prostitute ourselves out, Jack.
Crazy.
And then I got on the Lolita Express and I just Jack. Oh, Jack.
You know, it'd be a damn thing to say, but if Haiti sunk to the bottom of the Caribbean, no one would care.
Be a damn thing to say. As long as we say all the kids and put them on Epstein's Island, it'd be okay.
It'd be a damn thing to say. Don't
Jack.
fucking say it then, you fuck.
The kids have always wanted an island vacation getaway.
Oh, jeez.
Off their islands.
Why is there a bunch of 13-year-olds with bikinis on this island? What's going on? With no parents. I don't know what's going on. All right, we're in the woods on this one. Let's.
Yeah. We'll save pizza talk for another episode.
Yeah.
Out of context quotes.
Yeah.
Out of
one day.
Out of context, spoop.
Yeah, we definitely have enough to almost make one.
Someone has to make it for us. We can't make it ourselves.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
We almost have
anyone
enough for
out
someone else
there
to make
who
one.
wants to go through our videos, they're all up on YouTube. You can take all our stuff, anything we've said out of context, put it in the worst context possible. Hell, even splice shit together and just make it sound like we're saying absolutely absurd shit.
And then send it to my boss.
Don't do that. I need to pay my rent. But anyway, that's everything for the show. We really appreciate every single person who came and joined. I think we peaked at like 15 or 16, which is really awesome. Really appreciate all of you. Now would be the time to drop a follow because we're getting the show and we'd be able to shout you out before we get out of here. If you're watching without an account, please create an account and drop a follow. It really helps us. Not only does it entice you to come here next time the notification pops up on your phone, but it also lets us know that we're doing something that interests people and that our community is growing slowly. We really appreciate every single person. Thank you guys for coming and talking to us in chat. We really appreciate that. If you want to support us further, you can do a $4.99 Twitch sub, or you can go ahead and connect your Amazon to your Twitch, and you get a free Prime sub. That is, it costs you no extra money. It only helps us, which is really awesome. We really appreciate everybody again, even for just watching. Follow us on our Twitter and Instagram. Michael put the socials link in the chat. Just click on that. Click on our Twitter. Click on Instagram, YouTube, all that. Spoop Podcast. For those in audio only, everything is Spoop Podcast. SPOOP Podcast. And I stress this every single episode. I think it's super important to talk about, but it's very important. It's very important that you have international solidarity with workers all over the world, and until every last worker is given true freedom. That's economic freedom. It's, freedom to go about their society, being who they want to be, etc., etc. Nobody is truly free, and I think that that's something we talk about and stress on the show pretty much every episode. But yeah, thank you guys so much again, and we're out of here. So yeah, thank you.
Our posturings, our imagined self-importance, the delusion that we have some privileged position in the universe are challenged by this point of pale light. Our planet is a lonely speck in the great